If you asked me what game I've played the most in my life, without a doubt, it would be Diablo 2. I played this game almost exclusively all 4 years in my undergraduate studies at college. I remember coming home during summer break and playing with my then girlfriend, now wife, Rachel. We'd play this together over the summer. Then I'd go back to college and I'd play it some more. I remember getting my first job after I graduated, moving into my new apartment, playing Oblivion during the day and playing this at night. That is how much I played this game, and I loved it. I cannot tell you the countless characters and rerolls that I had. The love for this game really never waned. It only got better and better. They added more expansions, more rune words. They added a whole synergies patch that radically changed how you play the game. And it just seemed to get more and more fun as time went on. So when I heard that they were going to actually re-release this game for modern PCs in the modern era with new graphics and with console support for the first time, I was already sold. But I finally got a chance to get my hands on the open multiplayer beta this weekend. And what you're looking at here is footage that is captured from my PlayStation 5. And I gotta admit, playing Diablo on PlayStation 5 was a surreal experience. The controller support in this game is so smooth and fluid. They learned so many lessons from what they did in Diablo 4. Diablo 3, that they're bringing back, I guess, in a sense, to the Diablo 2 stuff. I was just amazed. And you could see me running around like an idiot, just really enjoying how smooth the control is with the left analog stick. You're in complete control of your character. Every attack you have is mapped to one of the face buttons or the right trigger buttons or shoulder buttons. In addition, you can hold down L2 and you can get a whole new set of talents that are mapped, and you can do all of them again. So you have 12 quick talents at your disposal. Now, this is different than the old school PC version that many of us remember, where you were bound solely to your left and right mouse click, and then you had to use function keys to toggle between what those left and right mouse clicks did. Unlike that version, this version gives you a hot swap of a sense, where you can instantly press a button and cast a spell. No longer do you have to toggle the spell, then right mouse click to use it. You just press the corresponding face button and you instantly use it. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, sold. I'm buying it on console. End of story. But then I found out you can actually use a controller on your PC, and I'm like, okay, sold. Once again, I'll just get it on PC, but I will be using a controller, no doubt. Inventory management is a little challenging at times, and sometimes when you want to pick up particular items, it may be a little bit different to do that and a little bit harder, but I feel like the benefit of having so many attacks at your disposal, particularly in later stages of the game, the fact that you have direct control of your character and how smooth it moves, and even some of the changes they've made to the interface, like the health bar of the enemy popping right over the top of them instead of the top center of the screen, are all incredibly welcome changes. But just like all great PC games, you can, on the fly, swap between a keyboard and a mouse and a controller seamlessly. So if you want to type a message to a friend, or you feel like playing old school, you go for it. You're going to have a blast doing it. And I can't wait to get back into this game, and I can't believe how many of my friends from our DGBD crew have just enjoyed this game. And we were talking about it on Slack the other night, and so many fond memories from everybody of just things that they've done, and gear that they've found, and ladder challenges they've had, and PvP matches they've had, and it just really lit a nostalgic fire in all of our hearts. And that is so fun to have that. And it's so fun to just kind of relive something. And even today, I sat down with my wife for about an hour and a half, and we played through the first, I'd say, quarter of Act 1. And just how instantly we got back into our old groove, and how much fun we just had instantly together. Now, there are definitely some quality of life changes that I would really have liked to have seen that didn't make the cut. This is a very true port to the original game. So things like running and stamina, unfortunately, are still a thing in this game. And you are going to have to stack dexterity if you want to be able to hit enemies. You see it say miss quite a bit. It's going to get worse later on. You're going to swing a lot and not hit things, which is incredibly frustrating. Stat points are going to be hard to reassign outside of the one or two freebies you get from Akira, and you are most likely going to roll fresh characters every single time you find some legendary weapon to build your entire character around those. And that is just part of the game, and that's part of the charm, and it exists. Unfortunately, there's no respecking, and I think in that sense your decisions are much more final and your gameplay matters more. You still take a penalty of experience when you die. The list goes on and on. But I will say that it is just such a beautiful, faithful, graphical update that I'm happy. And I think that this game, much more so than Diablo 3, really set the stage for what a dark, gritty game could look like. You definitely felt the carnage and the violence, not just in the combat, just in the way enemies died, obviously, but just in the universe and where you walked around, and each area of the world was so radically different than the other. And you had a phenomenal story with great CGI and wonderful voice acting cast that really told a really gripping tale of one person and their basically fall into becoming Diablo, and then the rise of the next generation of heroes to go fight them. You are going to get all the DLC in this, so you're going to get to play that as well. And it supports private lobbies, just like the old one did. So you can start a lobby with just your friends. They're all on dedicated servers, which is really, really nice. So the peer-to-peer stuff doesn't really exist, doesn't need to exist. So you're going to have nice, high-quality frame rates, and you're not going to have much droppage or anything. You're also going to have shared inventory for the first time ever, which is probably the only quality of life change I could think of that's like, okay, cool. We've been missing that. But I think most of us are excited to get into those ladder plays and just to start, fresh characters and, have a build that you play with your buddies. And it does support 8-player, which is incredibly rare by today's, multiplayer standards, at least in terms of how a squad works. It seems like 4 has kind of become the golden number over the last years. But this does support 8 multiplayer simultaneous. I mean, it's madness. But we're, of course, already divvying up what character we want to be. You can have duplicates, but it's fun to mix and match. That way you're not fighting over gear. That's another thing, by the way. Gear drop is not instant, so if a legendary enemy spews out a great piece of gear, everybody's going to fight for it. And hopefully you're the fastest to click, because if not, too bad, so sad, you're going to lose out. But depending on if you're playing with your friends or whatever, obviously you're going to divvy up and you're going to give your friends the gear that suits them best, because it will help the party for sure. So I'm just so excited for this game, guys. I just wanted to do some gameplay for you today. I cannot wait until the launch of this. This will definitely be a game that I will be streaming an extensive amount of, and I just can't wait to fall back in love with this game. Not that I ever fell out of love with it, but put it front and center back on the radar, get to enjoy nice, crisp, modern graphics. I wish we had ultra-wide support. Guess you can't have everything, but it still supports some nice resolutions with the shadow effects, and at any time you can press a button on the computer and toggle between the old and new graphics if you want to. I don't know why you'd want to look at those horrendous old 800 by 600 graphics, but they're there if you want them. But yeah, this is just going to be a total gem to play. So if you're not a fan of Diablo, great time to jump in when this game comes out. I think you're going to like it a lot more than Diablo 3. I think it's harder. I think some of the inventory, some people will be frustrated with. Like I said, some of the comfort of life things definitely aren't in this game, but it definitely has the heart and charm. And so many years later, it still hits me right in the feels. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.